Hey everyone, welcome back to the Visually Stunning Movie Podcast. I am Mark. That is Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
My voice seems to be cooperating for the moment. Let's see if it gets through the entire episode. Last night, you and I watched a movie. Opens tomorrow. Summer blockbuster. The 7th installment in the Jurassic Park franchise. Jurassic World Rebirth. Directed by Gareth Edwards, who was terribly excited to direct this film, apparently. Written by David Koepp, who wrote the first two Jurassic Park films for Spielberg. Starring Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, Rupert Friend, Mahershala Ali. Ed Screen, not nearly as long as we'd like. And some other folks. Now, generally speaking, at my house, we are all about the dinosaurs. The last three films notwithstanding, of their somewhat dubious quality toward the end of that trilogy. But generally, it's like, ooh, dinosaurs. So, dinosaurs. Before we get there, what's your history with Jurassic Park and dinosaurs?
I love the first film. Saw it in the theater numerous times, and and then to be quite honest, I kind of didn't see the next couple for when they were released.
Right. From the original trilogy.
Yeah, of the original trilogy. I've obviously since seen them, but so I mean, I like dinosaurs plenty, but I think that I don't know exactly what kept me from those first two sequels, but it just wasn't high on the priority list.
Right.
I did see the movie, and after the movie, I read the book, and so it wasn't
Great
like
book, by the way.
yeah, it is. So I really can't explain why I missed the next two films. Who knows? Who knows what life got in the way?
Right.
But I would say that I absolutely think the first film is a classic. I think it was a technological leap that just one of those films that just pushes the envelope into a whole new realm of possibilities as far as what special effects and things could do.
Yep.
And yes, that was part of the thrill of the first film, but it still was a reasonably well written film. Obviously, the source material is really good, so that helps. Yeah. I think that you can connect with the idea of someone being so passionate about something that they can't see the downside to what they're doing.
They never ask themselves what could possibly go wrong.
Yeah, or if they do, they think, well, not to me.
Right.
I'm being very careful what I'm doing, and I know what I'm doing, and
yep.
Anyway, yeah.
So then the second three, where were you on those?
Diminishing results, I guess. I didn't mind, I didn't mind Jurassic World. But I think that there was, I think the franchise has had a hard time justifying why it's still cranking out films.
Okay. So then we get to Jurassic World Rebirth, which is a sequel to that secondary trilogy.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs rule the world. Well, they don't rule the world. They're dying off because our world is so crappy.
Yes.
Except around the equator, which is closer to what they're used to. But they're still dying off. And people still suck, as we learned from this movie. So what were you expecting, hoping, wishing going in to Rebirth?
Oh gosh. I just wanted something better than the last couple. I wanted it to not, to somehow channel some of the the original magic, and how it would do that, I don't know. And I think that's part of the problem at this point, is figuring out if we're going to still have Jurassic World films, what makes it fresh? What is the new, I guess what is the reason for it existing? And so I had hoped that they would kind of take a step away from everything that they've been doing, maybe soft reboot in a way, and try to take it in a different direction. But well,
that's not what we got.
Not what we got.
So it's funny. You're talking about how do you extend this franchise when it doesn't really kind of feel like you can. There's a parallel in the film in that people in the world of Rebirth,
yes,
they've stopped. They don't care about dinosaurs anymore.
And that's why they start doing cross mutations and whatnot. When that came up, because that's written on the screen, like it's text that comes up on the screen.
Yes,
to set we're now living in an age where people don't care about dinosaurs. So to make dinosaurs more interesting, well, and it's exactly what the film is trying to do.
Yep.
And it's a little meta. I don't know if it was as purposefully as meta as it ends up being, but yeah.
Yeah, it was it self-aware or was it an accidental self-own?
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. Scarlett Johansson again is our lead. Leads a team of independent security forces, aka mercenaries, to help. I mean, I can't even say it with a straight face.
Yeah.
Extract DNA from 3 massive prehistoric creatures for a groundbreaking medical breakthrough.
Yeah. But I think that the key thing here is she's hired by one of these soulless medicine making companies,
Big
pharma, who essentially say, we have endless amounts of money. We want this so we can then essentially rip off the world and charge them for more money so that they can cure heart disease. And it even goes into
so they can treat heart disease.
Oh, that's true. That's not cure. And they go as low as to mentioned that Scarlett Johansson's mother had died from
heart disease.
Yes. As if that was the hook, anyway.
To get her to come along when she didn't. Yeah, look, we've already been talking for about 9 minutes, 9 minutes. And in the end, we walked out and I said it before we left the theater. And after I gave some bullet points to the studio rep, I said, I do not have one positive thing to say about this movie. It's horrible. No matter what aspect of it you want to look at, it's not good. The dinosaurs aren't awe-inspiring anymore. They're barely there. And when they are, they look horrible.
Yeah.
I thought about it later. And actually I was like, because the whole mutant dinosaur thing, which is the world that the island that they're on, that's where the company stored the mutant dinosaurs. They didn't kill them. They just kind of relocated them to this island and let them live out their mutated lives.
Yeah.
That's pretty freaking cold, but okay, because it's a tax write-off. We get a tax lesson in this film. If that tells you how boring this film is.
Well, I don't
know. Stop. So I thought about it later. It's like, if they'd have just said mutant dinosaurs and made this a horror film, that's a movie I could watch.
Oh, it would be a better movie, partially because, well, I mean, my first major issue with this film is the fact that I don't care about anybody.
No,
really, because so many of the characters are so unlikable, or generally presented as being soulless.
Yes,
that. By the time that maybe at the end where a couple of them display a little bit of humanity, it's way too late in the film for me to start caring.
Yes.
There's a subplot that involves a family
Yep.
that is in the film for absolutely no logical reason because it does
Correct.
nothing whatsoever to further the story of the main plot.
No. And in my review, which you can go read at vsmoviepodcast.com, I wrote that family is there to try to inject some empathy from the audience, right? But it
I
fails at that.
well, for one thing, there's, I, none of it feels real. None of it, the relationships in that feel real. Everyone reacts in bizarre ways at times. And I guess you can excuse the teenagers at some point from
Right.
that because teenagers are just bizarre
Teenagers.
reactions. But even the father in the thing, like his like reactions are all over the place. It's supposed to have, I guess, this, the daughter wants her father to like her boyfriend who she barely likes, and
Right.
and admits to, I mean, it's just like this string of, okay, you have a little girl, maybe I care about the little girl who's playing with the tiny dinosaur who is clearly, the we're going to sell the stuffed animal
Yes.
uh moment.
Dolores, the tiny
Dolores.
mutant dinosaur.
Yeah, everyone's going to want a Dolores, assuming anyone actually sees this film, I guess. I don't know. But there's no point for them being there. They don't add anything. You could say, well, they make the soulless guy really soulless. Well, we already know he doesn't have a soul. We
Right.
don't, yeah, I mean, there's no need, there's just absolutely no need for them. And all they're doing is wandering around aimlessly, really. Well, not quite aimlessly, but wandering
Right.
around for, no reason.
Well, like our group of mercenaries is on a boat. Our family is on a boat that gets attacked and turned over. They get rescued by the other boat, which
Yeah.
promptly gets attacked, and they promptly split those two groups again.
Yeah, once
They
yes,
couldn't even mix them, which would have made sense.
maybe, yeah,
Well, at least then there's some impetus to get them to the same
sure,
location.
sure,
But
yeah, and
that's just lazy. So now we have two parallel storylines running for no reason. Again, so the family doesn't need to be there.
yeah,
It's this there the CGI is terrible. Not just on the dinosaurs, but a lot of times the sets and all the shots you're looking at, it's like, well, that's terrible green screen. I guess the budget on this was 2.25 ish.
mm.
It did not go to the CGI.
I don't know where it went. I mean,
I don't know where it went either. And I guess there's some projections that have this over 100 million for opening weekend. I'm
all right,
well, 5 days, I guess, because of the 4th of July holiday.
I guess if your brand is strong enough, but I mean, I don't. It's funny because other franchises we've seen drop off. So I don't. I mean, I'd have to look at the numbers for the last few films, but I just the quality level for the Jurassic World films has just been, going downwards in an amazing amount.
What I'm going to be interested in. I want to see the totals Wednesday to Thursday to Friday to Saturday to Sunday, because it's going to go up from Wednesday to Thursday because there's going to be more showings when it officially opens, and families are going to be off. It might go up Friday because there's your holiday, but by then all the word of mouth will have hit, and then we'll see what happens on Saturday, Sunday. I heard, dude, I always try to find something good in every movie. And I can't even be a sexist and say that Scarlett Johansson in a tight white t-shirt makes this movie watchable, because it does not.
It doesn't.
It does not.
I
can't even go there and say something quote unquote positive about this movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, we have a lot of really talented actors.
Yes.
We have a director who's done far better work than this.
And loves the franchise.
We've had a writer who has also done far better work in and out of the franchise.
Yes. What happened?
I don't know. I think what happened is just world fatigue. I really, that's,
you can't know. You can't have this many talented people that want to make a movie with that budget and have it come out this bad. And there has to be something else. This is not the audience making the film bad. This film is not good.
I don't know.
It boggles the mind. There's no way. I should at least be able to say it's a 5. And I can't. It's a 1. Because we don't do zeros.
Yeah, it's
not good.
Yeah.
It's not good at all. But
I have no idea. Like I said, I want to say it was competently directed, but it's kind of hard to tell when you don't have a film that's well written at all. I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you said competently directed by an incompetent script.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, the dialogue is terrible.
Yeah,
the interpersonal interactions are terrible, even amongst the quote unquote team that she has. It just it's 2 hours and 14 minutes of my life that I'll never get back, and I say that about precious few films.
Yeah.
I have complimented zero budget horror films on something, and I can't. There's nothing in this film that I find worth mentioning as a positive. Now, people are going to hate me for that. I'm sorry,
but sometimes you just don't have it in you to find that thing. It may be in there somewhere, but the effort to find it is so excruciating that it's almost not worth the time of figuring out where that is.
Yeah. And well, see, I should be predisposed to find that thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, we should point out you and your wife were dressed up in your dinosaur outfits.
Yes.
Well, not dinosaur outfits.
Outfits. You're dinosaur bearing paraphernalia.
Yes.
Yes.
And you could not.
We were prepared to like this movie. And we did not. She didn't even. She said, Dolores is cute.
Yeah. And
a little baby dinosaur. That's it. That's all she had positive to say.
No, yeah.
And it's like, and I was like, fine, maybe I'll give you that. But it's annoying. It was clear what Dolores's role was. To be cute.
Yeah.
And when that's clearly your role, that's not a positive. So, yeah, I just look. It's now been 20 minutes that we've been talking. Well,
I got nothing else.
There's nothing else. There's nothing else worth talking about. I say don't even see it. Go see F1 either for the first time or again. That's gonna be a better choice.
I think there's a lot of other stuff out there.
There's good stuff, but if you want over 2 hours of theater time that will get your heart racing, F1 is a pretty good choice. I may go see it again I'm off on Thursday, so I might go see it again. F1, not Jurassic World. Afterbirth. Not good. There you go. That's it. That's all I want to say about it. So we're gonna sign off. We're gonna talk about movies that are coming up soon that we'll be watching. So don't forget to like us, follow us on social media, leave scathing comments about how terrible a person Mark is for not liking this movie. I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to live with it because it's my show, not yours. Go to the website vsmoviepodcast.com. Gives you links to everything. And until next time, go see a good movie in the theaters, as we've just previously discussed. Till then, till we talk to you again, be good, stay safe. I'm Mark. That's Ryan. Bye, Ryan.
Yep. See you guys.
We'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.